Hi, beloveds. Hope you're doing well today. So let's talk about the Great Resignation and how that can give you, as a job seeker, a lot of leverage. At the same time, there are things to be aware of. There are some downfalls that I'd like you to keep in mind if you're out there searching for a job or considering looking around and seeing if you might be able to get a better deal than you're getting now at your current employer. So, the war for talent is huge right now. So many people have left their jobs, and many left without anything to go right into. So they were just like, "I'm done. I rather just not work at all than work with this employer." So they are leaving without something to fall back on. Many of them, not all, but many. And this is really interesting, and it's really different. And so employers now, they are looking to fill these positions, and some of them are hurting pretty bad in terms of not being able to fill their positions. So they're starting to rethink, like, we burnt out our people, they're gone, and we haven't been able to fill it because we just put the same job out with the same salary and the same everything, and no one's biting, because as job seekers, our perspective has changed in a lot of ways. And so now we're looking at, well, the employer's thinking, okay, you know what? If I really want to attract people, I'm going to have to do something different. If you keep doing the same thing you've been doing, you're going to get the same results. So by doing something different, they're looking to get this talent. So now they're saying, maybe we should increase salary. Maybe we should do some other things. One thing that employers are doing is they are splitting jobs up. So you may have heard this story a lot, and it happens to a lot of people, but they will be in a job and get burnt out. People leave, and then they take on that work, and then they're doing the work of like 3 or 4 people, and then they just get burnt out physically and emotionally. And then when the employer puts the job out, they put it out as a one-person job. People don't bite. But once they split it up, then people begin to say, oh, I may take this job. So it's a good idea to kind of know what you're getting into. Know if you're coming into a job that someone has been overworked and they left, or if it's been appropriately split up as it should have been. Okay, now how do you even figure that out? How do you know? Well, many times when you're applying for a job, there will be like this middle person. There will be like a middle person who you're communicating with, like an HR assistant or something, and that person may be trained to answer some basic questions about the job, and they are your first point of contact as a way to kind of protect the manager's time. So you can ask this person, well, how long has this position been available or been vacant? Just ask some questions that can help get an idea of kind of what you're working with. If a position has been vacant for more than 6 months, that's a good indicator that there may be something going on with that position that you may not know, and you may want to stay away from that position like everyone else has been doing the past 6 months. There are a number of reasons why positions can be open for that long. One that I see is, for example, let's say the job says office assistant, and but when you actually read, the title says office assistant, but when you actually read the job description, it's not an office assistant. That is a manager, office manager role. All the tasks, all the responsibilities they want this person to do is actually more in line with an office manager. But what they want to do is to pay someone at the office assistant salary to do office manager work. That's what they're trying to do. And so when I see vacancies that have been open for a long time, many times it's because they're asking more from the person than they're willing to pay or give them the title to. I've been looking at job descriptions for over about 20 years, so I can tell the difference between an office assistant and an office manager. You should grow that skill as well. And so if you notice that, you may want to stay away. Also, someone could have the title of office manager, but and the duties could be office manager duties, but the pay is still at the office assistant pay. That happens too, and that's another reason why positions can be vacant for a long time. And we wonder, oh, why can't we get someone to fill it and all this? And you're just hoping and praying that you'll get some naive person to go in there and do that work for less pay, at a lesser title, or at the same title but same, not so great pay. And so that's a problem. And it's not that all employers are, trying to be, bad employers by underpaying, but sometimes they really feel like they can't afford it. Or maybe management doesn't want to give themselves a pay cut, so they rather just keep salaries at the lower end low. So there's many reasons why that can happen. But again, this is a really good time for people who are looking for jobs. There are a lot of indicators out there that I see that let me know that we're shifting into a new gear. Starbucks, there are some Starbucks that have unionized. Even one of the biggest warehouses in Amazon has unionized. And Amazon was one of those companies that many of us career professionals felt like would never get unionized, because Amazon spent so much time and effort and money on anti-unionizing verbiage and efforts. And so it's pretty amazing, actually. And that's a good indicator that things are looking better for the average worker. We're not where we need to be yet, but things are getting better. I'm starting to see salaries increase. The employers out there are starting to get a little desperate. They're like, people aren't just falling into our jobs like they used to. We're really having to change things. We're really having to increase our salary a bit. Not all employers, but many. And so as you do your job search, weed out those employers who are not doing that. Know how to find employers that are, in the cusp of this change to do better, and that will serve you well. Okay, and also keep in mind that the longer a position has been vacant, that can also be good leverage for you. So if you've seen a job that has been vacant for 6 months, again, double check to make sure that it's not an underpaid position or the title is wrong. If it still looks pretty good, then you may be able to negotiate a different title. You may be able to do some other things. Maybe it will be another video, but there are things sometimes that I see in a job description that's just an outlier that doesn't really match with everything else. I have an eye for that. But if you can see those things, those are things that you may be able to negotiate out. Like, hey, all this deals with this, and then like payroll is just thrown in there. It doesn't connect with anything. Is that something someone else could do? These are things that you can actually negotiate many times. So keep this in mind and ask about the position. The wind is going. So I'm going to pause. Hopefully you can still hear me. Beautiful windy day. But so again, to wrap up, know the situation. Try to figure out what's going on with the job. Ask the HR person, how long has this position been available. Really look at the job description. Know that you have some leverage now. So be clear about what the position offers. Get things in writing, because sometimes people switch up things. You go in thinking it's a certain pay or a certain, time off or breaks, and then you get there and it's a different story and you have nothing in writing. So keep all of this in mind. The Great Resignation is here. There's things you can leverage, but there's also these pitfalls to be mindful of. All right, so enjoy your job searching and comment in the chat if you have any questions. Would love to hear from you. Bye-bye.